This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by Hello Fresh.
Why, hello, Fresh.
What are you up to?
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Got to change that theme song, Mason. Welcome back, everybody.
I still love it. I don't listen to it, but I still love it.
to another. It's the one thing. It's the word. You know what I mean? I can't even imagine how many listeners we've lost.
News.
Dozens.
Then people are not interested in news.
They don't want the news. They want facts.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Because it's fake news, everyone.
Yeah, that's
everyone's,
right.
Everyone's talking about it all the time. Mason, welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Planet.
Thank
We're
you.
talking movies and comics.
We've
and
done
TV
it
shows.
again.
We have.
I know we've only done like
393?
I was going to say 1 minute of the show.
Oh.
But I'm confident in saying we've done it again.
We've done it again.
Yeah.
So this week, I'm James, also known as Mr. Sndyer. With me as always is my co-host Nick Mason.
Hello, Fresh.
We've got 1 week of Loki left, Mason. You excited?
Yeah.
For the finale?
We're going to have to record it at like 1 in the morning. That's
correct.
I'm going to be at work until...
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's awful.
I feel confident in saying that I did tell you.
You probably did.
Yes.
But I forgot, Mason.
Yeah.
That still means I didn't know it.
You can have a little nap.
No, I
have a
don't.
little. Watch the show. Write your little notes. Have your little nap. And then I'll be right
bang, 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 bang,
Yeah.
1 a.m. It's you. Then Collings, of course, does the edit.
He comes over here and he's like, bang, 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 bang.
Get up.
Give me the files.
So this week we're going to talk about the death of a legend, Mason, a legend of
yeah.
cinema and TV also. News of Tomorrow War, the movie, a trailer for What If, how Marvel deals work these days, Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, question mark. Zack Snyder's doing another thing, Comic-Con, and then we're going to get into Black Widow. There's time codes below if you do want to jump around a bit. I feel like I haven't put the news together in a way that kind of flows this week.
We'll soon find out.
We will, won't we?
We'll do some of our famous segues and transitions. People
That's
are going to
true.
love it.
Okay, we'll do that.
This will seem like one singular block. Like it'll seem like one news piece. It'll
Yep.
be so seamless.
That's right.
Wow.
Richard Donner's dead.
Bit of you've really pumped the brakes there, haven't you, James?
Well, you said it. I'm
That's
just
true,
saying.
yeah.
So he died at 91 years old.
Yeah.
Like most famously, people would know him for like Superman and a better version of Superman 2.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
We looked
Yeah.
at recently.
Also the Goonies.
The Goonies he did. It's funny though because he worked on things from television, incredibly like popular properties. Man from U.N.C.L.E., Gilligan's Island, Perry Mason, Get Smart, The Wild Wild West. He also directed that episode of The Twilight Zone where the demon in the cloud or whatever.
Oh,
the gremlin on the wing
yeah,
thing,
right, okay.
Which I know from The Simpsons, but he directed Shatner in that. You mentioned Goonies, Lethal Weapon, and we've been talking about it, in the past couple of years that he was going to come back and direct the next Lethal Weapon, which would have been incredible. Because I think
Yeah.
the last movie he directed was like 16 Blocks or whatever with Ethan Hawke. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Like a
vaguely.
remake. It was
Sure,
pretty
yeah,
good,
yeah,
pretty good.
okay.
He also did Maverick, if you remember the movie Maverick as
Oh, I do,
well,
yeah.
which is a sequel to the show. Also, a bunch of people, obviously the tributes have flooded in. One of them being that of Kevin Feige, who got his start through Richard Donner,
Yeah, right.
which is, just incredible. So amazing legacy. Apparently a very nice man by all accounts.
Well, one of the only nice things that comes out when like a big name passes away is that you get to hear all the stories you didn't know, about them. So Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk in the Goonies,
Yes.
who's now an entertainment lawyer, Richard Donner paid for his college.
Did he
tuition.
really?
Yeah, because he had he had to write a letter to college. Jeff Cohen, he had to write a letter to this college to apply to it, and he went to Richard Donner and he said, "What do you think about this? Do you think it's good? Could you give me a recommendation or something like that?" And Richard Donner and his wife had to think about it, and they were like, "You know what? Not only that, we're going to pay for it." So
Wow.
yeah,
Incredible.
Good stuff,
There you
right?
go. Good on him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, I mean, one of these properties alone, but what a legacy. What an amazing legacy.
yeah.
And speaking of legacies,
Go on, seamless. Here we go.
the Hollywood Reporter reporting that you loved the Tomorrow War. That's what they said.
Wow.
Said Mason,
Speaking of fake news,
Nick Mason, loved the Tomorrow War.
and then there's a paragraph explaining who I am. Is
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
There's an audio clip.
Huh.
There's just a photo of you also like getting your mail. It's like a paparazzi. You got
I
papped.
got papped. Oh no! Wow.
Anyway,
Just me opening up a bill, being like, "Oh no, I'm in my robe."
so everybody involved in the first movie, director, cast, writers, producers, are back for a sequel.
Everyone's back.
Everyone's
including
back.
the people who were killed.
Yes.
Wow.
So what do you think of that?
Love it. Great. Tremendous.
I liked it.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, that's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. The Tomorrow War 2.
Huh.
The day after Tomorrow War?
Yep.
Is that fine?
It's
Is that
great.
anything?
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
So I guess it did well.
Hey, here's a little shout out
Yeah.
to our friend Christopher, who does Weekly Planet posters.
My goodness.
He's gone off script this week.
What? Is he allowed to do that?
Well, he made a couple of original ones, and there's a Jason Momoa movie coming out soon.
Oh,
The trailer came out.
Yeah.
It's
The
called.
trailer looks decent,
It's
but
called
the
it's called
posters-
Sweet Girl.
the posters are
but he's
atrocious.
preempted us.
Yeah.
His algorithm has gone ahead, and he's correctly estimated what we would have called it, which is called Jason Momoa punches a drug company, his daughter punches it too. So that's great stuff.
It's not a great poster though, is it? The original?
No, it's bad.
It's like, do you want to put any effort into this?
Yeah, they look like they've been the photos been two separate photos have been taken.
Well,
and
that's probably
smushed.
what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But because the movie looks relatively high budget, and they're
Yeah.
both famous people.
Also, it's called Sweet Girl.
Yeah.
But the trailer has Sweet Child O' Mine in it. And I think maybe they wanted to call it Sweet Child O' Mine.
But they couldn't?
But they couldn't for whatever reason. Like maybe there's already an existing movie with that name, or maybe Guns N' Roses said they could use the song, but they couldn't use the title or something like that. So now it's just called Sweet Girl.
They should have called it Chinese Democracy then.
Ha ha!
Thank you. Did you ever hear that album?
No. Oh, wait. Maybe like the first 2 or 3 tracks. I
Yeah, he
think.
was into it.
Who was?
You.
Oh, I was into it. Yeah. Put that in the Hollywood Reporter.
You got papped listening to it.
I've got the horns up.
Yeah.
I'm in a...
You got a Discman?
Yeah, I've got a Discman in. Yep. Great.
Remember Discmans?
Yes.
I was thinking about my Discman the other day. They did like 2,000 I paid like $220 for. Wow. It's crazy. It was a good one though. Where is it? Doesn't matter.
In the pile of trash.
Yeah, that's right.
That is the world now.
And my pile of laptops.
yeah, that's probably where it is.
Yeah. There's a new trailer this week for What If.
Yeah.
So when you're watching this, were you like, this is all right, I'm into it.
Well, let's go to the paparazzi photo of me watching the What If trailer. I'm loving it. And the caption underneath says, hey, these are all connected probably.
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's the one article.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So what I found interesting is, this was confirmed afterwards, that Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, the Collector, Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel are all being revoiced by other actors.
Yes.
So I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest.
What I was surprised by, the revoicing, because obviously some of the stars have come back. So Chadwick Boseman's, his last
Quite
performance
a
was...
lot of people have come back as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, but some did not. But what's interesting about, I think, this trailer is that they very specifically opened it with the opening sequence from Iron Man, where Tony Stark is like, peace, I'd be out of a job with peace.
I'm Iron Man.
And they were just like, let's open the trailer with a guy doing an exact impression of that, or as close as they can get. And let's see how people feel about it, I guess.
Yeah, it was a weird choice, but I also think it's to get people ready for it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think if I went into this and I didn't know that, there would have been
Yeah.
a bit of like, oh, okay. What they should have done is when they're on movie, when they're doing movies.
When they're on movie.
When they're on movie.
Which is a technical term for when they're filming a movie. They say, we're on movie.
Yeah.
Richard Donner would have been like, okay, folks, we're on movie. Everybody get ready, we're on movie.
This is one article.
Yeah, it's great.
But that's when you get him. You know what I mean? Because once Downey's done, you're not getting him back to voice a cartoon.
That's true,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Not for a bunch of money. It's weird that like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel were still in the universe.
I'm not doing these, yeah.
And you can do them over Zoom and whatever. But anyway, whatever.
I mean, again, it's
What if ever, I should say.
It's a big old Hollywood contract minefield, isn't it? I imagine, as much as they enjoy or do not enjoy doing these movies, maybe there's a thing in their contract that's like, and they're just like, well, I didn't sign on for it, so
Yeah.
I mean, they have to do it. They have to sort of essentially live and breathe these characters for several years while they are contracted to them. So I would guess for a lot of people, any excuse to not do the character is probably
A relief.
a relief. Yeah,
Yeah. It's interesting that you say contracts, Mason.
Uh-oh.
Because this next bit of news in this
Are we
article.
still not talking about the...
What?
Well, the thing that surprised me, I think, about the What If trailer was that they all seem at least some of them seem to be connected. I was under the impression.
Oh, I didn't know. I watched it once because I kind of want to be surprised. But yeah, what do you mean by that?
I mean, it seems like some of the characters are going to be, or maybe all of them are going to be interacting in some sort of multiversal team up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Good point.
because we got an evil Doctor Strange, and he's having some words.
With regular Doctor Strange?
I can't remember.
Someone's talking to somebody.
We should have watched it again, probably. Yeah.
Was there a Doctor Strange Spider-Man?
I don't.
There was a different Spider-Man. Again, I didn't really watch it properly because I want to be surprised. Do you think it's going week to week, right? They also gave a release date. I think they said August 10th.
Yes.
I don't think we're probably going to do recaps like we do for Loki. Maybe we'll do like just audio things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because they're quite soul-crushing for Collings. He needs a few months off, I think.
Well, let's do something that's only marginally soul-crushing for him.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, but speaking of deals, Mason, this is also via the Hollywood Reporter. Kevin Feige spoke about the huge multi-picture deals that Marvelites used to be sold into. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean Marvelites?
People in
the actors.
movies.
Okay,
yeah.
people in movies.
When they're
sure,
on
sure.
movie.
When they're on movie, okay, I understand. Sure.
But speaking of, I just quickly wanted to say, I think now they'd work these what-ifs into the contract, and maybe some of them they managed to, because I don't know if you know this, but on the first Iron Man game, which came out to coincide with the movie, they got Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, and
I think
he's sort of sleepwalking his way through the audio.
They got Chris Hemsworth, and so it's not uncommon.
Also, he's using a different phone. He's using a different
phone.
phone.
Is that a flipped phone?
It's a flip phone. He's using a flip phone in the
so
trailer.
it's a what-if, though, isn't it?
That's true. Or maybe
what if I had a flip phone?
Maybe that's the difference here. I mean, also, he's rescued by Killmonger, but
what if Killmonger had a flip phone?
Right?
That's interesting.
Isn't it, though?
They're going to team up to do arms wars and stuff, presumably.
Arms Wars.
Arms wars.
Yeah, Arms Wars, probably, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't.
Anyway, so Kevin Feige said that got a lot of attention, the multi-picture deals back in the day, when I think Scarlett and Hemsworth and Evans and Sam Jackson, it varies now. Do you remember each of them signed on to like 5, 6, 7?
Yeah.
Sam Jackson's was 9 at the time.
Yeah.
And now I think he's on none, or week to week. I think they hire him week to week.
Yeah. He gets a call every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this week, Sam. Sorry.
No, thank you.
Or you're welcome.
So it says.
He signed up to a multi-year contract where sometimes they call him up and he has to work. He has to come in and do a scene.
And why not?
Yeah.
He says it varies project to project, cast to cast. Really, what we want are people that come in, are excited to be in the universe, are excited at the opportunity to do more things as opposed to being locked into contractual obligations, which I think is a good way to do it. It's like, how many do you want to do? What do you want to be? And this is the future.
It's like Weet-Bix.
You
ask people how many they want to do.
And then you put extra ones in there.
Yeah. You betray them.
Look, if you're going to eat
Then
Weet-Bix...
they're forced into eating too many Weet-Bix.
If you're going to eat Weet-Bix or Vitabrits, here's how you do it. You do it 2 at a time. Because I like them crunchy. Some people put them in the microwave. What's wrong with you? It's just a bowl of mush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Warm milk and mush.
Some people just
You're
put the
fucking
dry
baby.
box, the entire box in the microwave.
Are you a dry Weet-Bix man? Some
No.
people do that.
No.
They put a peanut butter on a Weet-Bix and eat it dry.
Well, that's not dry, is it?
Well, yeah, but it's... I mean,
It's certainly viscous, isn't it?
of the condiments...
Certainly got more traction if you putting peanut butter
But
on.
of the condiments, peanut butter is one of the drier ones, I would
I
say.
agree, yeah. Sure.
If I had to.
But it's
It's dryosity.
yeah.
It's not as dry as a Weet-Bix.
Very true.
Yeah. So what do you think of that? They're just going, they're not doing, you have to do 9 or else.
I think that's good, yeah.
Like Channing Tatum
Again, like we said, like it's
in a certain G.I. Joe
yeah,
movie.
it's a huge investment, and I suspect that a lot of people are not, it's probably, the impact, and also I think probably the impact of this sort of thing is probably more well known now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a case of like of the 10 stars that are still left who haven't done a Marvel movie, you say, hey, do you want to do a Marvel movie? And they think, well, no, because people are going to ask me questions about this character.
Yeah.
For the next, every interview I have, they're going to be asking about this character. So do I want to lock myself into 5 movies? Probably not.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of being locked into movies, Hugh Jackman, he posted a picture of a Boss Logic styled Wolverine poster.
Yeah.
And then next to that, an image with him and Kevin Feige. What does it mean?
But it's an
Mason?
old image, right? It's not
Yes.
a new, okay.
But why would he do that? Is it a Doctor Strange cameo situation? Because, multiverses
Yeah,
and
maybe,
such.
yeah.
Is it he's coming back for Wolverine? I'm kind of torn because I like him a lot as Wolverine, but also I kind of want them to redo the X-Men clean
Start fresh.
slate.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of hope it's like a multiverse thing, but I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon probably multiverse cameo. It seems like
He's addicted to getting buff.
maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, we all are. We all are in this room, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are. So if they brought him back and they're like, he's Wolverine again, and
Yeah.
they're not redoing
We're all about
it.
healthy in this room. I didn't drink a violet crumble honeycomb flavoured milk on the way over here.
Oh my God, did it have the bits in it?
No, it doesn't have bits in it.
I don't know about that, man.
I wouldn't drink it if it did have bits in it.
I want the crunch of like a milkshake.
Okay, well, you could pour it on your Wheat Bix.
Would I put it in the microwave?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't, Mason.
Oh.
You're not listening to me.
I thought maybe with the addition of honeycomb, you would put it in the microwave.
Hot honeycomb milk. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I'm a pioneer is what I am.
I guess you are.
Yeah.
If someone wants to try that,
Let us know.
let us know. We might just miss it though, because sometimes like we get said things.
Yeah,
and I miss
you
it.
might
So-
be like, I had 10 Wheat Bix and hot honeycomb milk. Can you please read this out in the podcast? We miss it. We miss it completely.
So yeah, maybe don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. So there you go. I kind of would like to see cast someone younger,
Yep.
X-Men Origins. You know what I mean? Again.
Well, yeah, I mean, because what could very well happen is that you get Hugh Jackman for the first reappearance of the X-Men, maybe in a Avengers movie or something like that, and then he's like, oh boy, I blew out my knee and I cannot do any more of these.
Yeah.
And then they got to recast for the second thing anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a multiverse of madness thing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he will probably do a cameo a la, X-Men First Class or whatever, or he's
Sure.
a character in a bar or something like that. But it's a multiversal bar.
What?
Yeah.
What? Like that poster when it's like it's Elvis and Marilyn Monroe
Yes.
and Frank Sinatra
John Lennon's
and John
there.
Lennon
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're playing pool or whatever.
Yes.
And they're playing and the dogs are playing poker in the background.
yeah.
Christopher Reeve's there. He's
Yeah, yeah.
polishing a glass behind the bar.
But Wolverine, he's cut the green, hasn't he, with his claws
Oh, no.
of the pool table, and he's all like, "Merp." And David Hasselhoff and Nick Fury's like, you, ooh, ha, you scallywag.
Great stuff all around.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Matt Salinger's there with his big Captain America helmet on.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. Though, just quickly.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, he'd do it.
Yeah.
We're in that.
Just regular Lou Ferrigno.
He's wearing that weird coconut shell wig that he used to wear in that original series.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing because Old Man Logan crosses over with the young X-Men all the time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So if it's successful and he wanted to do it, he could come back and meet a different version of Wolverine.
Oh,
and the
sure,
X-Men.
okay, yeah.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
That's how we should end all news items. Anyway, whatever.
No, we're not ending it. It's the one.
It's still the one. Okay,
Yeah,
right,
we'll do it
right.
at the very end.
God, these segues are good, aren't they?
They really are.
Speaking of good,
Speaking of good, yeah, I think so. The Hollywood Reporter, they say...
my arch nemesis, they're always papping me.
They say Zack Snyder's next project for Netflix is Rebel Moon. We've talked about something about this recently.
Have
Do you
we?
know what this is in
Nope.
reference to?
Is it the sequel and or prequel to the zombie thing?
No, that's a different thing. But we saw some images of that this week,
Did we?
didn't we? Yeah. I'm interested to see how that turns out. This story is set in motion with a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy. It's threatened by the armies of a tyrannical regime named the Basileus.
Okay.
Desperate.
Is that how they're going to say it?
Well, they couldn't say empire. I'll tell you what in a minute. Desperate people dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them make a stand. He cites his influences as Star Wars and Akira Kurosawa. Do you remember how he was like, I was going to make like a Seven Samurai Star Wars movie and I might just make it anyway?
This is it.
This is it.
Okay, cool.
So there you go. He said, it's my love of sci-fi and a giant adventure. My hope is this also becomes a massive IP and a universe that could be built out. I've spent the last
He's saying the quiet part out loud. There it is. Because then I'll make so much more money.
Yeah. I've spent the last 2 or 3 years building out the universe. Every corner has to be painted in. I've been doing designs, constantly drawing, and really cultivating its fertile ground to make this world fully realized. I think this is very interesting. I love a big Zack Snyder swing. I'm a big
Sure,
fan,
okay,
so
yeah.
let's do it.
All right.
And I guess people can't really be upset because it's not treading on Star Wars like at all. And you can do laser swords, but instead of the Empire, it's the Basileus. Oh no, it's the
Yeah.
Basileus Force with their leader.
How are you saying that? How is that spelled?
It's Barley Sarius.
Ah,
I don't know.
okay.
It's our leader, Grath Grader Riddledum.
Huh.
You know,
So that's Darth Vader mixed with Mark McGrath, Sugar Ray.
yeah.
It's Grath Grody. There he is.
He's killing on Cameo apparently.
Okay, terrific.
Check him out.
Did you see this week also that Quentin Tarantino, he spoke out about Zack Snyder's Justice League?
What did he say?
He said it was groovy.
Okay,
He
then.
said, I haven't seen it, but it sounds groovy.
Oh, he hasn't seen it.
hasn't seen it. He
Wow.
said, I didn't see the last one and I haven't seen this one, but it sounds groovy.
Does sound groovy.
And he said that the fans coming out in force to, demand a new version, that was groovy.
Yeah, it was groovy.
Yeah.
It's been a big Quentin Tarantino week, hasn't it?
Has it?
Well, he's been selling that book. So he's
Oh,
just
right. Okay.
been in a lot of interviews, and you know what he does.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yes.
He's excited about the movie, the one movie he has left to make. So there you
Rude
go.
Star Trek.
Rude Star Trek. What do we got here? Last bit of news. Last bit of this article. Deadline are reporting that Comic-Con at home, Marvel and, because it's moved to at home,
Yes.
Marvel and Warner Brothers will skip.
I know. I've seen the paparazzi footage of my home. Get out of here. I'm doing a Comic-Con.
will,
just want to be left alone.
they're going to skip this month's Comic-Con, which isn't surprising because
Marvel are.
and DC, Warner
right.
Brothers, which isn't surprising. They didn't do the last one.
Yeah, they're doing
Maybe the one
Fandom.
before. Yeah, Marvel will do their own thing. It's not a surprise.
Marvel fandom.
That's right. Sony.
Marvel's DC fandom.
Wow. Sony's apparently an unknown at this point.
Okay.
But they probably would have announced it by now. Actually.
Yeah.
But, where's that Spider-Man trailer? God damn it! It's a sort of Damocles in my life. I feel like I never know when it's going to drop. It's going to ruin my week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you go. How do you feel about Comic-Con at home? That must be next week, right?
Yeah, that's why
Is
we're
it?
fired up about it.
Is it?
We're going to get that Spider-Man trailer. I suspect their reticence to say anything, Sony's reticence, means they're going to drop that Spider-Man trailer, I think, during Comic-Con at home. We'll all get to see it in the comfort of our own home.
Wow, I love that. So it's not next week, it's the week after. It's on the
Okay.
23rd
Oh,
till the 25th.
Spider-Man trailer confirmed.
Okay, great.
Nice.
HelloFresh for me, Mason. It cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips. So you, specifically you,
Yeah.
and you, the listener, specifically you, the listener, can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes or less minutes.
Are you going to cook for all of us, me and the listeners?
That's what I'm going to do.
That's really nice.
I would love to.
Very simple.
Now, here's how it is, though. You can
Our
try
5 listeners.
you can try HelloFresh's quick and easy meals, 15 to 20-minute dinners, breakfast on the go, and more easy options, perfect for your busy lifestyle. It's so flexible, Mason. And also, you get better value because HelloFresh is 28% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store and 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal without sacrificing the quality. And speaking of quality, Mason,
Go on.
Here's something for you. Here's something easy. Here's something that'll save you time. Here's something that I've tried. The French-style chicken and garlic veggies with a red wine juice. Is that how you say it?
That's how it makes it French style.
That's
yeah.
right. Bacon and mushrooms. Incredible. And again, I can't stress enough, easy. Easy to do, Mason.
And that's
Even an idiot could do it.
That's right. Like you.
No, you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. And that's a great combo of stuff. And it's like you
I
wouldn't even
agree.
you think to go to the supermarket and get all that stuff. And it's all arrives. Cook it right up.
Pre-proportioned.
Yeah.
Not like I've got too much mushrooms.
Right.
You've got just the right amount of mushrooms. Don't worry about it. So go to hellofresh.com/weeklyplanet14 and use code weeklyplanet14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/weeklyplanet14 and use code weeklyplanet14 for up to 14 meals plus free shipping.
My goodness.
It says you're highly encouraged to voice the HelloFresh tagline, America's #1 meal kit, but it's not part of the ad read. We don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do it, Mason.
yeah, nice. You did it. That's
America's #1 meal kit. I'm just making sure that people know. All right.
great. Hell yeah.
I'm with the show,
On the
Mason.
show, yeah. Yeah.
Black Widow, Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly high, but not really, opening weekend. They're estimating through Variety that it's going to be an $87.8 million US opening.
Not bad.
This beats Fantastic Nine.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, that was 70 or something-ish?
It was 70.
Okay.
Good
yeah.
work.
Thank you.
It's also the biggest since the pandemic, etc.
I'm one of the budget boys or
You
whatever.
are. That's
Box
true.
office boys.
Box office boys. That's an upcoming thing in a video in 2 weeks. But it's also interesting because it went to Disney Plus for $30 US.
Yes.
It also with the cinematic release, but people are still going out to see this. What do you think the story was?
Oh, okay, hang on. All right, so
Yeah.
it's set
Yep.
after Captain America Civil War.
Correct.
Black Widow's on the run.
Yep.
All the other Captain America boys have been captured, presumably.
Some of them are also on the run.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Black Widow's like, man, I gotta continue being on the run. But also, I got some stuff to deal with. God,
Yeah, family.
could my day get any busier?
Yeah, it does. Too.
It does get quite a lot busier.
Gets
actually.
much busier.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where everything is falling down.
That's right.
It's really busy.
Everything's exploding. Everything's falling through the sky.
Everyone's screaming at each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
But maybe she'll family.
Maybe the family.
Maybe she'll family, you
So
know?
we're going to do non-spoilers, then spoilers.
Great.
So this was directed by Kate Shortland, who's an Australian director, which, look, to be honest, going into this, I wasn't expecting anything at all. As I
Right.
mentioned, I'm just like, let's just get through it. It's a
Yeah,
prequel
yeah.
or an in-between call. Like, we know she can't die because she does die.
It's
Like, whatever. I thought it was pretty solid.
pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say, she can't die. I mean, the rules.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I feel like without going into it anything yet, I feel like the rules of the Marvel universe. If you like, I mean, she could die and come back somehow. Like,
Yeah.
there's no real. But would it have? Would this movie have ruined your sense of disbelief if?
She died.
Or she'd, but we won't get. Let's save it for spoilers.
Okay,
but
sure.
If she'd been given a get out of jail free card of some sort in this.
Okay. Maybe. Here's something I will say, though, as a criticism up top.
Okay.
It's late. It's like 5 years late.
It is late, isn't it?
This movie would have been perfect after Civil War, and I think it would have been better received. And I also think it would have worked in between Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, you could set it then even potentially, or you just say this was like Ant-Man and the Wasp was set before Infinity War.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So you could have done it like that if you wanted to.
Now, when you say this movie was late, you mean it's been released late, obviously.
Well, that, but also
it was produced late.
It feels like a lot of the stuff in this, and again, like I genuinely, like I really liked it, despite some other things which I'll talk about. But it just feels like this should have been a 2017 movie.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I think ultimately,
But it doesn't feel. You wouldn't. Would you say it feels dated, or do you?
no,
feel like,
no.
okay.
That's I just mean timeline wise. I just
Yeah,
think why wasn't this made earlier? That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The answer is probably Ike Perlmutter somehow.
Well, I think he was gone by then, but probably.
I would say the ramifications or the
would agree with.
The idea of like, you've got a person in charge who's like, well, we can't do a Black Widow movie because Black Widow toys won't sell or something like that. So
exactly.
let's not do it.
Yeah. So there you go. But for you, Mason, did you also enjoy the terrific opening sequence?
Remind me what happens in the
Family.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get with the movie. Also, there'll be. Is this a spoiler?
I mean,
we're saying some things that are happening in the movie.
It's also on, like, if you can't get to a movie, it's literally online.
That's true,
If
yeah.
you wanted to pay $30 for it. But yeah.
This movie opens with a flashback. It's in the trailers.
Yep.
We see a young Natasha Romanoff with her family.
Yep.
In the US in the 90s.
Like mid-90s, yeah.
Mid-90s. And we see what they're up to.
Yeah. And it's kind of, and it ends up being, well, the family is, can we say, I mean, it's the opening sequence and it's in the movie. I mean, it's in the trailer and stuff. They're doing an undercover family Russian mission.
Yes, that's
where
true.
they're stealing some stuff or whatever.
Yeah. They're
for
not
whatever.
a real family.
They're not a real family.
They're a
but
manufactured kind of deep cover family.
yes. And what I loved about that is, like,
Yeah.
they're so undercover that they're just doing American accents and American things when nobody is watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're all, the kids and all are 100%
They're all
committed.
in.
Yeah, to this thing.
Just in case the Paps are there.
Yeah, I did exactly. But I thought that was like super interesting and a real. And then they have to, kind of go on the run in the US to kind of to make the escape, and
Yeah.
And David Harbour's dadding about,
Sure.
And Rachel
Yeah.
Weisz who's not in it as much as I thought she would be actually. But she is in it. I thought it was like a really, really solid opening, and then we get the Smells Like Teen Spirit sad version or whatever, with all the Black Widow footage and training interspersed with real world events and that leading into the next thing that happens, Mason, which is Black Widow stuff mostly.
Mostly some Black Widow stuff.
Look, okay, I'm trying to duck around spoilers.
We see that. One day we got to have one day, James. The world's got to sit down and have a frank discussion about spoilers and what constitutes a spoiler.
Good point.
Because as has been said on, there are people who like. A review of a movie used to say stuff like if you'd read one in the paper or even on the internet or whatever, it'd say stuff like, this movie's got a car chase, you've got to see to believe, or something like that.
Yes.
But nowadays, if you were to say that, someone would say, I actually wanted to go into this movie not knowing there was a car chase in it, but go off, I guess. There's You should just stay off the internet.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like reviews used to be for people who were on the fence about seeing a movie.
Yeah.
Who needed a little nudge in either direction. But now reviews seem to be for people who want to know if other people agreed with their assessment of the movie, and they'll read it later.
That's not inaccurate. Yeah.
So
That's what I do.
But yeah, I
don't
don't.
read
I don't
reviews.
think I wouldn't consider it a spoiler to say there's an action sequence at the start of the movie or something like
Well,
that.
let's just vaguely talk about action sequences.
Okay.
I'll also say that.
Did I mention this one time? I said about a movie on Twitter, I think, or on a podcast.
You're going to say
something.
on a plane.
On a plane. I think I said of a movie once. I won't say anything, but just letting you know, I thought it was really good, and if you get a chance, you should see it.
Yeah.
And somebody said, spoilers. and I was asleep at the time, and so I woke up to like a conversation between this person and another person, and the second person was like, how is that a spoiler?
Yeah.
The first person said, well, I know what type of movies he, meaning me, likes. And so him saying he likes the movie gives me an indication of what the movie is like, and therefore that's a spoiler.
So because of their understanding or their perceived understanding of you,
Yes.
you're not allowed to say whether you liked it.
Because that's a spoiler.
For
yeah.
this one person.
Yes, correct.
Who knows you so well, apparently.
So that's the line is you can't say anything these days.
Well, if
James.
they knew you so well, they should have known that you were going to tweet about it.
Great point.
So here's something that I think is a credit to this movie. I wasn't like, where's Captain America? Why is it Captain America here or whatever? Isn't Iron Man alive?
And every scene, characters are going to ask, when's Captain America going to get here?
Yeah. I felt like the way the movie was structured and the way, she is as a character, it just felt like she's got it. It wasn't like, I'm in over my head.
Yes,
You know what I mean? And look, she does like get help from various people throughout it. But it felt like, no, she knows what she's doing. She can hit people with a big electric stick.
And I was going to say, like, what I enjoyed about this, I think, is that the action sequences hit very hard.
Yeah.
I think there's, and the Black Widow gets hit very hard. Like, there are moments where people are being, like, hurled at odd angles into, like walls and over heavy stuff.
Heavy stuff,
Heavy
mate.
stuff, man.
It's heavy stuff if you're
Yeah.
watching.
But just like people are just, then they're not pulling their punches, literally or figuratively.
Yeah.
People are just being, like, just
hitting each other.
hitting each other,
Just going for it.
Yeah.
So there's a few action sequences. Obviously, there's like a prison escape sequence.
Spoiler alert, James.
Yeah,
please.
whatever. Look, I'm just gonna. They're in the trailers.
Yeah.
But there's like a Black Widows like a group of Black Widows kind of situation. There's a bunch of Black Widows in this, and there's a big finale, a big bombastic finale.
Yes.
I think
Which is in the trailer.
Yes, I remember you saying. I think after we saw this, that you were like. You thought it got was it a little too much at the end? Was that you who said that? Or a different person?
Might have been a different
Was that
person.
Dave Lee?
Might have been
who
our
saw it
friend
with?
Dave Lee, yeah. No, I didn't think it was too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I just imagine that.
Yeah.
Or Dave Lee said, I said this, but attribute it to Nick Mason, if
Whoa.
you could. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so because in general, I thought the action sequences were very good, but here's another thing about this movie. A lot of this is just the Winter Soldier. It's the most Winter Soldier thing that Marvel have done since the Winter Soldier.
That's
and they do a
probably
lot
true,
of the Winter Soldier kind of stuff, don't they?
They do, yeah. So if you like that one, I think this is very much, this isn't.
I think it might be also to a fault because there's even some story beats that are like, this is the Winter Soldier.
Again, right? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Spoilers?
No, hang on, let me think.
We can talk about the characters, Mason.
We can talk about the characters.
What do you think about Florence Pugh, and do you think her accent will last?
No, I think she'll be like, I'm an American now, I've got to do, or will I?
Or British. Or she's
British, yeah, I'm going to do.
She is British.
No, I think it'll go. I enjoyed, here's the thing, I enjoyed David Harbour as the Red Guardian, former.
Me too.
He's received the Soviet version of the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that I feel like maybe the character from the 90s, it felt at times like quite different from
It's
the character
not the same, yeah.
that we see in the sort of the modern era of the
I mean,
movie.
obviously there's like 20 odd years in
And he's,
between,
and
he's been
circumstances
things
have
happened
changed,
to him.
But he seemed like in the first, in the early stuff, he seems just like a kind and loving dad, and in this,
But I think also maybe that's also because he was doing it
yeah,
undercover.
sure.
So I do wonder about how much of that is like what's real of him and what isn't.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean. But also, the things that happen to him in between.
Yeah.
may have
And of
affected
course, yeah,
him
I mean,
somewhat.
we see him he's been in prison for maybe decades.
Yeah.
So, and he's sort of become like a braggart and a kind of like a
Just all war stories, mate.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that character, though. And I probably can't talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Spoiler culture has ruined everything.
Yeah, it has. And I also thought Rachel Weisz was great as well. Like, I think that that family unit that they kind of built for this, I think it was good. I think it really worked. I thought it was interesting how they addressed the things like, now they mentioned casually in Age of Ultron that she doesn't have a uterus.
I thought that was,
that was apparently directly because they were like, we'll address it in a joking way because it's so horrific. And it's something that all of these characters they've just built this into the universe. And it's like, so that's how they decided to do it.
I did feel like that because there is that, again, it is like just thrown, Florence Pugh just throws it in there as like a joke.
Yeah.
And it's very, the setup though, it's odd because the character who sets up that joke should know that.
Well, the way that particular joke came to be, because I read into it a bit, is that one of the male writers wrote it, and they were like, because that's something that like a dumb guy would say, like an insensitive dumb guy, and they were like, yeah, but even then, like it's still kind of like it's not a great joke either. You know what I mean? Even if you're like it's a dumb guy who said, like it's just been done to death.
So why is it in there?
Well, because for then the follow up of like you said this thing and now you're going to hear every detail about it as kind of like you should know better than this.
Yeah, right.
But
it seems like it's a joke that a character who isn't so closely associated with the Black Widows should be making.
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't you know that that's the case?
Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't.
He probably does, though.
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some
spoilers.
I'm going to say best movie ever. I had a good time. I think it's not cosmic.
No.
It's not it's not endgame world shattering. But I think that's a good reset.
I think it's also on the stronger end of the Marvel movies. Definitely. I think it's like well above average.
Yeah. Like I think if you build a movie where one of the main characters, as far as you know going in, is not going to be alive in the future. Yeah. You have to set it up so we care about the stakes in the movie and the all the other characters. Yes. And I think I did.
I agree.
It's real nice.
Well, we didn't.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to talk about Taskmaster.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Who's not the main villain.
I was going to say, just before we do that, Black Widow doesn't. Like, there is no switcheroo. Not that there isn't still room for another switcheroo. Yeah, totally. I guess there is.
I mean, you can bring her back at any point. With multi.
And again, I think, as I've said, I'm pretty sure that the current Marvel comic book version of Black Widow is just a clone of the original Black Widow. Okay. But we've just completely, that happened a couple of years ago, so they've just glossed over it now. So
isn't Tony Stark the current one like he was a little boy Tony Stark from the past?
No, they erased that again. Yeah.
Well, I don't even know anymore.
He was a little boy Tony Stark in the past. But
yeah. So the Taskmaster in this, I know few people are upset about this, is basically the Winter Soldier because it's somebody from their past, sort of, or her past specifically.
The mystery went in. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Rachel Weisz? Is it going to be the one other guy?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it was something that as soon as they were like, oh, Ray Winston's in this. They're like, Ray Winston's daughter, you killed Ray Winston's daughter in an explosion. I'm like,
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's the Taskmaster.
Straight away.
Because, again, when a character like Black Widow says, oh, I've got a lot of red in my ledger, I've got a lot of regrets in the past, what they mean is I've killed a lot of really bad people and I feel a bit conflicted about it sometimes, not I killed a defenseless girl in an explosion.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't put that in. They will not allow that in a Disney movie, I would say.
But I think, the idea of that reveal wasn't entirely paid off because she kind of gets forgiveness from... Olga Kurylenko is the actor who plays her, like briefly, because she's like, I've taken away your mind control powers or whatever, and now you can, and she's just like, thanks for saving me. But I think it should have gone, I'm still going to kill you because you put me in that explosion. Yeah. Like you are still largely responsible for this, and I think they hand waved a lot of that away when they shouldn't have.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of the WandaVision situation of like, well, you did mind control this whole town against their will, and we're all very mentally scarred by it. But I guess you're a powerful magician, though, so
we're just not gonna let you go.
We'll just let you. It's really fine. Don't worry about it.
But I know there are people though that are upset that the Taskmaster maybe wasn't done properly. A lot of it would probably be because the Taskmaster is not a man. I'd imagine. I mean, there is that. But I think there are also people who they like this character and this wasn't a proper representation.
Yeah, right.
But for me, the Taskmaster is just it's a person in a skull mask who can do karate kicks.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can do anything with this character.
There's sort of two, in the comic books, there's sort of two versions of the Taskmaster. There's the more recent one, and he's kind of more a cool, sophisticated guy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, I guess I would say probably more in line with this version where he's just kind of cool and deadly and, he had his own solo book where he's kind of cool and menacing and whatever. But there's original version where he's he's got the knee-high boots and he's got the cape and he's got the sword and he's just he's a evil Marvel villain who also just talks like a New York street tough. He's just hey, jarheads, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, right, okay.
Which kind of my favorite version of that character, but
so I guess the only
things got to change, I guess.
But I guess the only thing that I also you can't really use Taskmaster.
Hey, Captain America, get a load of this.
He throws a hot dog.
Throws a hot dog, yeah.
Because I guess you can't really do much with Taskmaster from here, as a villain, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they wipe all that away. But again, it's not a character that I particularly care about. So I guess if you're super into it, I could see how this would be upsetting to you, Mason.
I am. I'm very upset. I'm not upset, but I think that we now have room for that character to develop a personality of her own.
Also, you can bring in the New York Taskmaster.
You think so? 2 Taskmasters,
Forget
double
about
Taskmaster.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
like the version of Taskmaster that he occasionally gets into it, but mostly he's just training other villains.
Okay, yeah.
He's just,
I could see also this character going off.
hey, you jabroni.
But I could also see this character going off.
Let me throw a shield.
You could do that though with this character.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't want to get some revenge and then is I'm just going to do contract work or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I could see that, being a thing.
We talked about the plot, really?
So there's too many Black Widows.
Yes.
As a result of the Black Widow mind control machine.
Yes.
And Ray Winston's done it.
Yeah, he done it because his daughter
Yeah.
was injured by a Black Widow or something.
Yeah. An explosion.
Explosion, yeah.
Explosion happened.
Yeah.
And so he's basically he's in a big helicarrier.
He's in a big
Russian
helicarrier in the sky.
That sucks.
It sucks, yeah.
And he's doing that. I didn't even know he was in this movie.
Sure, yeah.
Did you?
No.
Yeah. And he's all I'm in control and I'm doing world organizations and you don't even know how many people in the UN I know or whatever. He does that speech.
Yeah.
And then he gets hologram masked. So
Sure, yeah.
he knew though.
Yeah.
He knew there was going to be a hologram mask. But so, were you surprised or were you enchanted by any of those reveals?
Let me think.
Evil Black Widows and
Gosh, I don't know if I was surprised by really anything. I mean, we when only other additional characters showed up,
Yeah.
because the question was who was the Taskmaster.
Yes.
When only additional characters showed up, and he was like, here's all your mail, and the mail included the Taskmaster, the Black Widow vials, the antidote vials.
Yeah.
I'm immediately like, well, it's not him then, is it? Because otherwise, unless he's like,
Yeah.
oh curses, I forgot to get the vials.
yeah, you might be right. Yeah, so so he ends up being he's delivering helicopters, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
what kind of helicopter do you want?
The requisition guy, he's
Yeah.
the supply guy.
Yeah, exactly. Which I didn't mind. Although that was, I think everybody just assumed, including us at one point, that that was the character was going to end up being Taskmaster. What about this though?
Go on.
Did you enjoy how Black Widow, when she goes to fight Ray Winston,
Yes.
and you can't fight Ray Winston because
he's
he
got pheromones.
smells.
I saw people going like, oh, magic pheromones, but it's like,
It's a magic world.
so yeah, I mean,
I didn't
guy
have-
in a suit that flies around and
Yeah.
he can't, the man physically can't fit in that suit. He's flying around shooting lasers, force fields,
Yeah.
magic hammers.
I agree.
That shield does not follow any of the laws of physics.
I just
you
thought-
can hand wave that away by saying that, but it's still true. It doesn't work.
I thought it was odd though that so to get around her being able to beat up Ray Winston, she breaks her nose on the table when you could have just done cotton buds.
Sure, yeah.
Just stuff a bunch of cotton up your nose.
Or maybe the pheromones say you also can't stick your fingers up your nose.
Maybe that's right. So yeah, but I mean the idea of Black Widow smashing her nose on the table and then cricket her nose back into place. That's more fun, isn't it?
Does that mean she can't smell anything from this point
No,
forward?
she fixed it. She
That's
goes.
not how
she
severed
fixed-
nerve works.
Mason, if you're gonna believe in pheromones and magic flying men, then
guess
you have
that's
to
probably
believe
true.
this as well. All right,
Okay.
you have to believe in it. Were you happy with what we got for Budapest or Budapest?
Not really, because it feels
They
like
said they were going to cover it.
they did. I mean, we got some action in Budapest.
And we see some arrows in some walls or whatever, and
Yeah,
how
but we
they
never
hid in the
s-
ceiling.
But we never really see what Black Widow and Hawkeye got up to.
Straight up,
That's
though?
a movie for another scene for another time. It's probably in the Hawkeye series,
Probably.
maybe.
Straight up, though. Straight up.
Yes.
I don't care. Who cares?
Okay, right.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like again we've reached this point where every Clone Wars mention in a Star Wars has to be we have to see the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
We don't.
No.
You can just say that was an interesting thing in the lore of the past.
Yeah.
Your imagination will fill it in better than any animated series ever will.
Did you want to see how Obi-Wan was rescued from those Gundarks that he fell into or whatever?
I don't know what any of those words mean, but yeah, I demand it. I absolutely demand it. We must have that. We simply must.
So a running joke in this also, and there's a video up on my channel actually, if you
yes.
want to check out, that Lawrence has edited, is Red Guardian talks about how he fought Captain America in 1984.
Yes.
Which in the regular MCU timeline is not possible.
That
but
is
I
true.
maintain that it absolutely is possible.
So in the comic book timeline, obviously well, I guess in the comic book timeline, it's probably not possible now either because every eventful thing in a comic book timeline happened 10 years ago.
Yes.
But in the original comic book timeline, Captain America went in the ice at the end of World War II. He came out of the ice in the 60s during the Marvel Age, and he joined the Avengers. So that would have been very possible.
It's been 15 years. It's not that long.
Yeah.
Now it's much longer, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. But there were also, before, wasn't there various other people who were Captain America?
Well, see, that's the thing. So the Red Guardian could have fought, as I think you've mentioned, Captain America going back through the past.
Yeah. Or like
To play the games that suck ass.
exactly.
Little reference for you there, James.
But it could have been like a John Walker type.
Yeah, it could have been.
It could have been a parallel dimension version.
It could have been an attempt to make another super soldier serum.
Yeah.
They tested on a guy. Because in the comic books, Marvel, when they were Atlas Comics, made an attempt to bring back Captain Marvel in the 50s.
Yeah.
And so what they had was Captain America goes. So if you look at that timeline from the 40s to the 60s,
Did you say Captain Marvel?
I don't know, Captain America.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
So what you have in the timeline is Captain America goes in the ice in the 40s. He's around again in the 50s, and then he returns from the ice in the 60s.
Yeah.
So what they did is they retconned the version in the 50s to be like, we tested the super soldier serum again on another guy.
Yeah.
We created a new Captain America and a new Bucky. We brainwashed them to think they were the originals.
Yep.
And we set them loose on the streets of New York or whatever.
Yeah.
So it could have been one of those guys.
Any of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a whole video on it if you do want to
Nice.
check it out. But even then, I think like he's like a blowhard or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's not a liar. I mean, he's a spy, so he's a liar.
Sure.
But he's not like. I don't see why he would make it up.
Yeah, he's got nothing to prove in that prison. He
Yeah.
can just snap people's arms.
Yeah.
So
I think he fought somebody, is what I think. And maybe we'll see it in that Budapest prequel movie.
Oh, yes, please.
If you don't mind, Mason.
Budapest and a bit in the 80s, they could call it.
That's right.
Bring back the Marvel one-shots.
I agree. They're too expensive, probably. They just put them on Disney+.
Yeah.
What do you think about the post-credits, if we're doing that, I guess?
Sure are.
The first one was a haircut and a vest and a helicopter and a get on your way to an Infinity War.
Oh, yeah, it sure
Remember?
was.
She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I've
yeah, I
got
do
my
remember that.
vest.
Yeah,
I've got my new vest.
Did she have that vest in the...
She did.
Oh.
I can't believe I didn't recognize the vest.
Continuity confirmed.
I feel like an idiot.
Wow, you're all about jacket speculation.
It's true. I don't wear vests, though.
It's true.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It's not my area.
You want your arms to be constricted.
Yes.
You don't want your arms to be free.
I want them to free to swing about. But the follow-up one
This is the real meat of it.
the real one. What'd you think? And what is it?
It's very interesting, isn't it? So it's Florence Pugh goes to the graves. She's in America, presumably, and she goes to the gravesite of Natasha Romanoff.
Yep.
And she's met there by Julia, the
Valentina
Contessa. Is she the Contessa?
Yes, D. Fontaine.
I will learn her name at some point.
I've
about
done
about 6 movies in, I'll learn it.
No, you don't need to. Just can say Valentina. I did a video on it. It's not doing very well.
Anyway,
there's a million of them.
Anyway,
But I did it.
Anyway,
Well,
the
Lawrence did
Contessa's
it.
like, hey, good to see you. They clearly know each other.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is working for the
Pew, pew.
Contessa.
Yeah.
And then the Contessa says, hey, how about I give you, here's a mission you can go on and you can finally get revenge on the man who killed your sister, and shows her a picture of Hawkeye. He's got the Hawkeye haircut. He's probably in Japan.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa. He's been papped
He's been papped, mate, hard.
by the Hollywood Reporter.
He didn't even know he got papped.
Right?
Yeah.
Embarrassing for him. He's a spy of some sort.
Yeah. So she's showing
He's
up.
one of the very inconspicuous Bo spies, one of those guys.
She's going to be showing up in the Hawkeye series, presumably
right.
for a bit, then they team up.
Yeah.
But I think
Because he could be like, I didn't kill your sister.
she jumped off a cliff.
Yeah, I tried to stop her repeatedly. I tried to stop her with my traditional method of exploding arrows, but it didn't work.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Again, this is an issue that could be resolved with a post-it note.
Definitely.
He
And
just shows up and he's like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Also, how
would she know?
How have they spun that lie?
Yeah.
Like, because she obviously died in space.
Well, I think she could say, well, nobody saw it.
Okay, sure.
I mean,
sure,
Red
sure.
Skull saw it, but that guy, he's a weird space ghost.
Maybe they bring Red Skull back and he's like, yeah, he done it.
I did say it.
Yes.
I was a space ghost.
Yes.
It's fucking crazy. It's really boring, though.
So the cynic in me would suggest that what they're doing currently is they're building a team of backup Avengers for all the actors that are no longer going to be in these movies anymore, because they've got a John Walker, and they've got a Black Widow.
Yep. They could do Abomination.
They've got Abomination. But I would say, and this again, and I guess it's a combination of the two things, because the cynic in me is like, well, obviously what they want to do is they want to slowly swap out the actors whose contracts have expired, and they don't want to do this anymore, and they want to swap them out with people who are close enough that we don't notice.
I think it's Dark Avengers.
Yeah, I think what the MCU fan in me and the comic book fan is like, well, what they're doing here is the Contessa is building some sort of Dark Avengers.
She is a villain.
Yeah,
she's a Hydra.
She is building some sort of
person.
Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts team, which will give the world the appearance of an Avengers team, but it's under the control of her, whatever her agenda is. Because we need it again. We've got because without a Tony Stark, where's the money coming from? As we've mentioned as we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you're an ex-Avenger, you're not getting any money anymore.
Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer, maybe. Yeah,
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, so we're getting at the very least we're getting a US agent. We're getting a new Black Widow. We're getting a Abomination probably.
Yep. Well, he's coming up in. I think he's in She-Hulk and he's also in
Shang-Chi.
So so we've got those two things coming up. Pretty hot stuff. Yeah.
It's very hot stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll break the Iron Patriot suit out of the mothballs and
That'd
give us
be cool.
an Iron Man?
Maybe.
Because there hasn't been any, because in the comic books, that was Norman Osborn, formerly the Green Goblin, who took that role. But in this, Iron Patriot hasn't had any huge PR disasters.
No.
It's just a suit they used for a while and then stopped using, and it became War Machine again.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, time to bring back Iron Patriot.
Bust it out.
Yeah.
Here's something I think would be interesting.
Yes.
If this did come out between Infinity War and Endgame, and then this post-credit said, she's dead, and Hawkeye did it, that would have been a really interesting setup for the next movie.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you'd be like, when's he
going to shoot her in the head with an arrow?
Is he going to chuck her off the cliff? Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But don't you think that could have been...
Yeah.
Again, I think it just should have come out slightly earlier.
Yeah.
But it didn't. And it's still pretty good,
Pretty good.
I thought. But I've got some reviews here, Mason.
on.
It's from Damon. I've got a bunch. It says, #WeeklyPlanetPod. I think Black Widow had some of the best action scenes in the MCU. Definitely high on Marvel's rankings. And very happy it was my first time in a theatre since Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Eli says, did the green vest in Black Widow give you guys this real Solo vibes? I always wondered why she wore the green one in Infinity War. I bet a long lost sister gave her that vest. I don't think it was a big enough plot point to. It didn't distract me because I'm not like, I didn't notice.
Yeah, yeah.
Classic vest. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
There wasn't a scene where she had to stuff all the Infinity Stones in her vest to run across a field or something.
Yeah,
So.
I know. Claire hasn't seen this yet. I'm hoping to get her to watch it before Suggestible, my less successful podcast. But nonetheless, it has some charm. For that pocket scene alone, because Claire's all about pockets. She's like, there's no women's clothes don't have any fucking pockets.
Yeah. I got so many pockets
I
right
got
now.
too many. Yeah, I'm not wearing clothes and I got pockets, Mason.
Whoa.
Tierman says, just on Black Widow, as long as you can get past the fact that it's 4 Russians in Russia speaking broken English instead of Russian, best movie ever. And I Watch Stuff said, I enjoyed Black Widow because it feels inessential to the MCU's overall timeline. It didn't wrap up loose threads or really make any new ones. It's a story that stands on its own with great performances. Ray Winston's accent aside. Is it Winstone or Winston?
I've always said Winstone, but I'm probably wrong.
Beowulf is in Beowulf. He's Beowulf.
Sure.
And great emotional beats. So there you go. So I think overall, what we got, people, but I think it's a little bit more mixed on the whole. Mixed to positive.
Villain's not hugely memorable.
I agree. Yeah.
Like Winstone, kind of, he's just the generic Russian mobster kind of guy. He's just got a.
I'm in charge.
Exactly.
I live in this wooden room in a flying spaceship.
Yeah.
Remember when the spaceship exploded? Everyone was jumping out of that spaceship or
Hell
whatever?
yeah.
I blinked when we were watching it and before Black Widow hit the ground and pulled the parachute and then she was on the ground. Like I missed the moment somehow where she pulled the... It was so quick. She was like 10 feet from the ground.
Well, how did you feel about that final... Everybody's leaping off the...
I liked it.
Yeah,
It was cool.
I think it's pretty all right,
Yeah, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Especially because we'll talk about, I guess, what we're reading. We recently watched the G.I. Joe movie from 2009.
Yeah.
My God.
Not great. But and I think there's probably a fine line. When you have a character who doesn't really have any powers, there's a fine line between like, oh, this is cool because they don't have any powers, but they're very skilled and we see them, operating at their peak and... They're gonna leap into dangerous situations because they know they'll improvise a way to get out of it, kind of thing. And I think that's kind of cool. But it can tip over sometimes into being like, well, they are magic.
Yes,
like this is just them being magic. But I think this towed the line, and I think the final sequence where she's like leaping from
platform to platform,
that's falling to earth. That was it's pretty good.
She knows what she's doing, probably.
Yeah, she probably
I liked it, and I look forward to. I've bought it again on Disney Plus for my family, and it was my brother. He was like, "Buy it, get it, I want to watch it."
Which brother?
The one that you don't like.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Typical of him, isn't it?
Isn't it though? What can't spend $35.
Well, I write it off on tax, so
that's
I'm
true,
happy to do it. Doesn't bother me. But I meant to watch it again before this, but I had to watch G.I. Joe, so I missed it. There you go. Anyway, should we move to the next segment of the show? Do you know what it's called, though?
It's called What We Reading.
What are we going to
read?
read?
And then I pause, what we going to read,
And then we say, and then I put the theme song. I'm not even ready, Mason.
Whoa.
Why didn't you warn me I had to do this? I'm doing the theme. Westworld. I stopped that too early. Doesn't matter. The important thing is I said Westworld. I got that name. So as mentioned, we're watching the G.I. Joe movies.
That's correct. We're having a great time.
We're doing Iron Man.
Consuming much of our time.
That's right. Iron Man 3 is coming out for Caravan of Garbage this week. But what else did you watch?
What about Rick and Morty? Rick and Morty's back.
Rick and Morty is back.
Several episodes in, 4 or 5 in.
15 to 20 episodes in. Yeah. So my
really
WhatsApp
good.
is blowing up with something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I would have thought that the Rick and Morty shtick would have worn off for me.
The shtick and Morty.
Yeah, the shtick and Morty, exactly, yes.
Yeah. But it's, I think I said this to Levins recently on a podcast, all the small games that I did a month or so back, that it's a good show. It's just everything around it is awful.
Correct, yes.
Like it's well written and it's funny, And
this season, I think, is leaning quite heavily on, hey, do you recognize that pop culture thing?
Okay, sure.
Like, because we had Mr. Nimbus, who's a very obvious kind of name all the Submariner pastiche, and we got Planetina, who's Captain Planet. And we seem to be getting some sort of Voltron thing
coming
up soon, and a Transformers thing, I think, as well. But, why not?
I like also in Australia, it goes straight to Netflix.
Yeah.
Week to week. That's awesome.
Good, right?
Yeah. Love it.
What else?
I can tell you what I watched.
Please.
Yesterday, my son's like, I want to watch Luca again. You're going to watch Luca with me.
Have you? Like, is this your first time watching Luca?
It is.
Okay.
It's great, man. And it gets a bit of...
This is the
Pixar one that they dumped on Disney Plus for free.
Okay, I should watch it.
Merboy, yeah. Mm-hmm. And... Well, it's technically a Freemason because you pay actually a monthly fee.
But again, I just watch out of your window. Like, I watch through your window, through your front.
I'm going to get you papped if you're looking in my window. It's not like if you're looking for Inside Out and like mind-bending like...
But here's the thing, I'm kind of not.
Then this is like, it's just a nice movie about two fish boys who want to win a race.
Oh,
like
great.
That's what it is about.
A running race or a fish race?
It's a bit of everything.
Oh, it's like a triathlon, but for being a
Yeah, well, it's a triathlon, but one of the events is eating a bowl of pasta.
Oh, mamma mia.
Not a joke. It's in the movie. It's just nice. It's just nice and simple and fun. It's a great kids movie. And I think I talked about this again on Suggestible. I really liked Soul, but it's not a kids movie. Or a young kids movie.
Yeah.
It's just ghosts.
It covers some big issues.
Yeah. Ghosts and afterlife and unfilled potential and jazz.
Yeah, right.
But this is like, It's good. I think it's been sold short. I think
Okay.
it's really good. Yeah, and nice and fun.
Does anyone drive a Fiat? A Fiat 500?
No, there's a lot of Vespa talk though.
Oh, very good. Okay.
So I loved it. It was really nice.
Very nice. I've been playing. I think I mentioned it that I got in the post. This game, Kentucky Route Zero, on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, you did mention that. So you've been giving it a red hot go.
It's really good. It's more of an interactive story than a game.
Like
really.
a book, like a choose your own
I
adventure.
would say it has more interactivity than a choose your own adventure book, but it has less interactivity than your point and click adventure game.
Gotcha.
It's mostly just you walk to a place and you talk to somebody and you choose some options.
Yes.
But it's sort of like it's about a man. He's a truck driver. He delivers stuff.
Yeah.
He delivers stuff for an antique company. He's got one more delivery to do tonight.
Is he allowed to do it?
Yes.
Good.
He's got one more delivery. Is it his last delivery for the night or his last delivery ever?
Yeah,
Tough
yeah.
to say.
Okay.
But he's just sort of driving through this weird.
Do you drive?
You don't drive so much as you just move a cursor around a map.
Okay,
basically.
gotcha. Your finger.
But you basically and you have to. In order to get to this place, he doesn't know where this place is, and he has to ask around to get to this place. So, in order to get there, he has to go. He probably has to go on the Zero, which is this sort of mysterious route through
Is
Kentucky.
it supernaturally?
Yes. And is the route Zero? Is it real or is it a metaphor? Yes, is the answer. But it's more about. It's definitely about the character. You meet some characters on the way. You meet a woman, and you sort of travel together. You got an old dog. You meet various characters, and you learn about their hopes and dreams and their pasts and all this sort of stuff. Apparently, I think it was released in segments over a period of years.
Oh, one of those ones.
And
Yeah,
some were free and some you could buy and etc. But this is all sort of together in one thing.
How long is it in general? Not that is the mark of a good game necessarily.
Well, I played it for a couple of hours and I got through about 3 parts, and I think there's 5 or 6 parts.
Okay, cool.
So you can knock it off, I think, in a day if you really wanted to rush it. But it looks great,
Yeah.
and the soundtrack is great. Like, it's just like you at one point you're just walking through a forest and just like and you're in the background, but in the foreground there are just like mysterious people playing the banjo. And just, the soundtrack is really good. It's good.
Okay.
Again, this is your update of games from years ago that Meso is just playing now.
Speaking of games from years ago, I got a couple
Go
of
on.
things I want to talk about. I'm literally looking now because I want to buy Streets of Rage 4 on the Switch.
Oh, yep.
I always like those games, and apparently the new one's really good. And I think those people are also working on like a Ninja Turtles beat 'em up for later this year.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm definitely 100% going to get. And the other thing is, I was away this week with
Yes.
my fam on a fam holiday with some other fams, and they had a Daytona cabinet. And I'm like, I'm seriously contemplating, and I shouldn't,
Yes.
getting a Daytona cabinet.
With the steering wheel and
Yeah,
that's
like
why
a
you were about
2-1.
the steering wheel earlier. Like, do you use a steering wheel?
I
You
just,
drive under a big poster of Sonic in Kentucky Route Zero? No, you don't, James. Get your
No?
mind out of the gutter.
It's $7,000, right?
Okay, go on.
A bit more with delivery.
Okay, sure.
It's also like
Where are you finding this? Where is
I've
it?
been looking around. It's 20. It's a 25-plus-year-old game. There's like 3 tracks.
It sure is.
I can get it on the PlayStation 3 for like nothing.
Yeah.
If I wanted it now. Or do I get this thing that I'll instantly regret?
How many
I
times-
never buy anything, Mason. I don't.
Oh, that's
I don't,
true, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't buy anything, it's true.
But what? But it's also $7,000.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, by comparison, like, I'd be like, well, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. That'd be too much in my budget where I buy like 3 leather jackets a week.
Yeah.
But like, you're right. You don't buy anything. So, how many times do you play it realistically?
Oh, that's the thing. I don't, not that much probably.
Yeah.
But it's a great game.
Yes.
And, people can come around and play Daytona.
Is it a two
yeah.
steering wheel cabinet? Okay.
Yeah. It's old as fuck.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like,
know.
it's only going to break down.
Oh yeah, that's
You know
a
what
good
I mean?
point.
I also looked into like gaming rigs. Could I set up a PlayStation 4, like 3 with a seat and a whatever and like
Okay,
build my own?
yeah, right,
I've gone
right.
crazy,
It
Mason.
seems that way, yeah.
But I also kind of want to convert like maybe a corner of the studio into like, what if I just get a bunch of arcades? You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like the 1-up ones and whatever, or get one that's like that has like 1,000 games.
Yeah.
But then I don't think they're as fun though.
And you could get one of those things where it's like the little red and white circular targets and they move back and forth and you give us both an air rifle and we ping them.
Exactly.
Get us one of those.
I get a pinball machine.
pinball machine. Adam's Family Pinball.
I probably won't, but should I?
Hey, man. You've got a moderately successful podcast and a less successful podcast. Why not treat yourself?
Would you, if I got it, would you be like, why did you do that? Or would
No.
you be like, solid choice?
No, I mean,
I'm looking for judgment.
And it's not like, wow, that's a great question. Are you looking for someone to tell you yes, you should get it, or are you looking for somebody ultimately to tell you shouldn't get it? Have you told Claire about this?
Yeah, totally. She's like, if you really want to get it,
Yeah.
whatever, you never buy anything.
I cannot think of one specifically, but I bet there is one game
Yeah.
that if I saw it for sale, I would probably like budget to buy it.
Time Cop. No, what's that?
Time Crisis? Yeah,
House of the Dead.
I don't think it'd be one of the better.
What about a Marvel Capcom?
Well, what's interesting?
What about that sniper game?
No, what's interesting as well is that like a lot of that stuff has since been converted to
Whatever.
There used to be there was a Dungeons and Dragons like side-scrolling beat 'em up game, sort of in the style of a Ninja.
there
Turtle.
really?
Yeah,
Right.
there was one and there was a sequel.
Okay.
It was an arcade game, but then it was ported to the Saturn. So my first thought there was like, I could get the arcade cabinet,
Yeah.
but it would almost certainly be cheaper to get the Saturn or the Dreamcast or whatever it was
Yes.
on and just get that instead.
But isn't it more fun to have like the
not
cabinet?
for I don't know, maybe for a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Oh, what about that X-Men arcade game? It had 6 players.
So, I mean, they do a bunch of those on the 1UP arcade thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you play it?
Yeah. I reckon there's probably one. Yeah, like I said, I reckon there's probably one. I couldn't tell you what it is off the top of my head, but if I saw one for a reasonable amount of money,
Yeah.
maybe the first TMNT beat 'em up game.
It's fun. Or you can get, again,
Get it on 1UP.
1UP does
but the cabinet is better, like the full cabinet.
yeah, that's what I mean.
But also,
That's what I'm saying. Like the
Yeah.
1UP cabinet is like it's got both games and it's all TMNT like kitted out.
and also like if I bought a really old TMNT machine, I'd be like, this is old. This is
Yeah.
old and weird and smells of soft drink and
Exactly.
and it's all sticky. I don't like it. You going to refurbish this? What are you doing?
Every now and then I just hit up the 1UP website and I'm like, what have you guys been making? What have you guys been making? What are you up to?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Okay. I'm like, well, this should be an ongoing segment.
Should I get?
It's
a
an ongoing
Daytona?
segment. It's 2 minutes of you
Yeah.
just going back and forth on whether you should buy this cabinet or not.
Because I think also I could totally justify the 1UP ones because they're like $700-800, right?
Yeah, that's not
And
crazy.
they're like compact.
Yeah.
The Daytona is like it's a whole thing. It's
yeah.
it's a cockpit.
And
it's
you'd also,
two of them.
and you would have to have a conversation with the delivery guy. Like it would block the truck would block the street outside, and he would be like, "Delivery, what's this?" And he'd be like, "Oh, it's a Daytona machine." You'd have to have that conversation, and it'd be like, "Huh, interesting."
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot. That's why.
Well, that's how I make my living, delivering stuff to idiots. So
I probably
maybe
won't
that's what
get 'em,
Kentucky
but-
Route Zero is about. Just a
Yeah.
guy. Maybe that's his final delivery. It's a Daytona machine to an idiot.
How do people like? You know, people who collect like a bunch of expensive stuff.
Yeah.
How do they justify it? Do you know what I mean?
They have so much money that it isn't a
That
thing.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I'm at that point.
Yeah, no.
But there are people who also who collect this stuff who don't have like a bunch of money and they put in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even really an arcade guy. Like I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Maybe a crisis. Is that what this is?
A time crisis, sure. Yeah.
Anyway. Should we do the next segment of the show?
Okay, James, just imagine this. It's the Time Crisis arcade cabinet, but it just says midlife crisis on it. And it's just got your face on it on the side.
Can I be like polygonal?
Yeah. You're a bunch of polygons and you're like, and the game itself, there's the guns,
Yeah.
but you're clicking around on the screen. It's not like an action thing, but you're clicking around on like various websites. You're shooting your way through websites, constantly contemplating buying this machine. So it's like there's like an advertising spreadsheet, and you shoot it away, and then there's the Daytona website, and then you shoot it away, and then it's like,
And then I put it in my cart.
Yeah.
And then I look at delivery cost and I take it out of my cart.
You shoot it out of the cart again, and then you shoot at some emails, and then you shoot back at the website. Nice.
Can I shoot myself? Is that part of
No,
it?
it's not how those guns work. No, they're not real guns.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you know what it's time for?
Let's do some letters.
Let's do it.
Wait, that was on silent. But I thought I put the
Well,
volume
you
up.
did the right thing for the podcast, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Just looking at this Ninja Turtle cabinet, Mason. There's literally the X-Men 4-player arcade machine.
But not the 6-player arcade machine.
Oh, yeah. But he's 6 people.
Nah. Yeah.
I don't know 6 people who would play
I
that
want to
with
start
me.
them all. I want to put my fake credits in, on hit start on all of them, and then move them individually.
That's not
Go
fun.
from controller to controller.
I'm trying to find the price.
Oh, maybe I'd get a Smash TV cabinet. You know the ones
I
that
remember
had
Smash TV.
Each player got 2 joysticks.
I
Move in one
do.
direction, shoot in the other directions. Yeah, that was pretty good.
The pre-order for the X-Men is coming up this month, so get ready, Mason. Pre-order date.
Oh, is this one up?
Yeah, one up.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
God damn, these look good. What am I doing?
I don't know.
What am I doing? Anyway, letters, Mason. This is a segment of the show where you write in and you tell us what's going on
That's
with you.
exactly right, yeah.
the Ninja Turtle one.
weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
The Ninja Turtle one is also 4-player.
Well, there's 4 Ninja Turtles.
That's what I'm saying.
Does it contain just TMNT 1, or is there
No,
also
no,
Turtles
it's
in
got
Time?
Turtles in Time and the other one.
I didn't know. Didn't even know there was another one.
They got Killer Instinct. They've got a bunch of Mortal
interest.
Kombat stuff. Dragon's Lair. You know,
Wow.
It's just
No.
that's a movie.
Yeah, that's Dragon's Lair. Just look at it on YouTube. That's that's option 2 right there. Or buy the cabinet.
Exactly. Golden Axe, Ms. Pac-Man, X-Men versus Street Fighter Arcade,
Ooh,
Big
actually
Buck
not bad.
Hunter,
Gosh.
NBA Jam.
Again, it's probably too much, but man, if they did all the Marvel Capcom games in one cabinet, I would consider it.
Well, they've got...
But that's the thing with those games is you can also finish each one of them in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's true. But with this one, how about this one? This Marvel Superheroes one
Yes.
has Marvel Superheroes, X-Men, whatever,
Yes.
and The Punisher, the side-scrolling
Ooh.
beat 'em up
With
shooter
Nick
thing.
Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Fury and another guy.
No, it's just...
Oh, sorry, it's The
Punisher
Punisher
and
and Nick Fury.
yeah.
I forgot. He's the other guy, isn't he?
He's the other guy.
All right, what are we
Let's do some
doing?
letters. This is from Arthur.
We should make this a spin-off show about arcade cabinets we think about buying.
And it's a YouTube series. So we just go to the place and we stare at the arcade cabinet, and the guy who's selling it's like tapping his foot and look at his watch. It's like I got other potential buyers here, and we're like, just
Give us a...
and we're just like
I mean,
we're just imagining it.
it smells funny, but...
Smells yeah.
but it's 6-player.
It's-
Yeah.
this is from Arthur. It says dumbest book.
Okay.
Hey, Jimmy and Nikki, after what felt like the longest 3 years of my life, I finally completed my bachelor's degree and graduated from university.
Congratulations.
In return for the result I achieved, the university is offered to place a fancy binding and seal on any hardback book of my choosing. I was wondering if you had any ideas as to the dumbest book I could choose to undergo this process, just so I can confuse the uni one more time before I leave. The best idea I've had so far is Shagadelically Speaking the Words and World of Austin Powers.
I sent you a picture of a John Travolta book once, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, that could do it.
What about if you did like The Game? Or one of those,
Oh,
you know,
yes,
like one of
mate,
those
yeah.
YouTubers who make books, but they just like, it's just like a pamphlet.
Logan Paul's Handbook for Life.
Yeah,
or
there's
whatever.
a bunch of them.
Yeah,
and it's
maybe.
like, this is the secret to my success. And it's like, there's like 18 pages in it.
Well, it's interesting because I've heard The Game, the Neil Strauss book, which is about him going into the world of pickup artists.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very good. Like it's a well-written book and it's
Really?
interesting. But
What a
it's-
waste.
But that's the thing. It's now you can't buy it because it looks like you want pickup artist tips. So I can't just be like,
yeah.
I'll just want to get this because I hear it's an interesting. People will be
I'd
like,
be
yeah,
worried
whatever.
it would-
You want to learn about negging, don't you?
I'd be worried it would like bury into
and
my
I know about
subconscious.
negging.
And also, it doesn't even work anymore. Everybody knows about negging, but I feel like would this bury into my subconscious and I'd start just doing it to people.
Yeah, right.
You know, not like women necessarily, but just everybody.
Sure, yeah.
just breaking them down so they like me more.
Yeah, exactly. So what
That's
would we-
interesting. So might be a good book. This book.
That's what, because, Neil Strauss
fascinating.
used to write for Rolling Stone when it was good.
Oh right, yeah.
So,
doesn't he now write a book that's like, oh, I shouldn't have done The Game?
Oh,
Actually,
maybe.
a bad idea. I think
you
we
can get him
talked
as a
about
double pack on Amazon. The Game, and boy, I shouldn't have written The Game. Ooh.
it. What an idiot. Here we
Okay,
go.
so what would be a good book? Yeah, maybe like
The Bible. What about if you went thick? You just went and went, here's the phone book.
Yep.
I want you to bind this
Yeah.
for me.
Or like one of those complete idiots, the dummies guides to the internet or something
Oh,
like that.
okay, yeah.
That'd be good, yeah.
What about Could you find something like weird and self-published from somebody who works at the uni?
And get it specially bound? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of options. Email in, folks, if you've got any suggestions.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the worst book I've ever read. I kind of remember. Maybe if you just went in with like a golden book. You know those golden kids books? Like they've only got like 12 pages and just be like, bind this for me, please.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you get sort of like, this is dead? Does it say like donated to the library on behalf of Arthur? Is that what it would say in the book? I assume so, yeah.
Great question.
Maybe like Paris Hilton's autobiography
Yeah,
or
that'd
something
be
like
good.
that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was born and then I was rich.
And now this book.
Yeah, this book's here. Cool, man.
Yeah. I guess we'll think about it or we'll forget.
We'll forget.
But let us know.
Let us know
if you choose. Yeah. Got a tweet here because you can actually tweet the show, #WeeklyPlanetPod. Slim Shazza says, how about the best, worst post-credit scenes for an episode? One that was funny or interesting or ones that where the game was on, anything like that. I would definitely do that.
We should rank them. We should rank them. Shouldn't we determine the best
Rank
one?
them?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be up for that.
Yeah, nice.
Great stuff.
Love it.
Let's do it.
This is from Matilda, and they have said,
What up?
Black Widow lied about My Little Pony.
What?
In the opening child trauma scene of Black Widow, Yelena is holding a My Little Pony toy, but it is a modern Twilight Sparkle and looks nothing like the Generation 1 pony toys they would have had in the 90s. They go on to say, okay, I know this is dumb, but if she's been holding a TMNT toy from like the Megan Fox movies, people would be so mad.
That is true.
And I love My Little Pony, so I'm mad.
That is very true.
Can I be the official unicorn princess of the podcast? Absolutely. Yes, you can.
That's fascinating.
No, you're right. The certain fandoms would be so upset.
Yeah.
Unless they were like, it's a modern one, but we put it in as a little nod and a wink to the fans. But somebody would have to justify it in an interview later.
Totally.
They'd have to be like, so maybe they will.
Yeah.
Maybe
there'll be a whole movie about it.
Maybe Kate Shortland will have to spend the rest of her life being like, yeah, we know, but this is a nod to the bronies, actually. That's why we did this, because we respect the bronies.
That's really funny. I just think that's really interesting, that perspective of... I think that's very true. And also, if it was a modern Ninja Turtle, I would have noticed.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I absolutely did not notice that at all.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What else, Mason?
That's everything, I think.
Well, I've got some. This is
go ahead.
Polar Bear, who says...
Okay.
Hey, Nick and James. Recently, I rewatched the first Pirates film and was shocked how well it held up, both the fun story and effects, especially seeing as all the sequels are bad. Some people dispute that, but I agree.
You're doing some wicked hand motions.
I'm trying to make it happen.
You've decided this particular writer is a cool dude.
This is who I am. What's a film that most surprised you and how well it's held up? You got one?
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Iron Man 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah. I'd agree with that.
I thought they were still pretty good.
Look, I hate to get back to G.I. Joe, but I did like that first G.I. Joe movie.
That's wild.
I know.
That's wild.
I know.
Because I watched the first one and some of the second one.
Yeah.
I'm like, the second one's actually a lot better so far.
We'll see.
We will see, won't we?
Yeah. Here's one that I watched because I've been rewatching some kids' films that I used to watch.
Yeah.
But also, I try not to do that because a lot of them from my childhood are not good, and I don't want to watch them again and be like, the things from my childhood, you should watch these.
For sure.
So I try to watch a bunch of newer stuff as well. But Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is amazing.
Great.
It's a really good movie. It's really fun, and the special effects are held up really well.
Yeah.
I watched this like 6 months ago or longer. But really, really good kids' movies because a lot of kids' movies don't hold up,
Yeah.
I feel like The Sandlot would hold up. I always like The Sandlot. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, though, because I feel like we don't have
I don't like The Goonies.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have a lot of opportunity to rewatch a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
Just because if you look at, say, Netflix.
I look at Netflix.
So much of that so much of it is not pre-2000.
Did you think Space Jam held up?
No, I thought it was bad, but I saw it once as an adult to talk about it on Caravan of Garbage.
Apparently the new one's all right.
Okay, if you say so.
Saying, yeah.
If you say
so. That might
so.
be next week. Let me look into that to see if that's actually true. But otherwise, because we might be doing a Space Jam episode next week, Mason.
Oh, my goodness. All right, good. And then Snake Eyes?
Yes. Then Snake Eyes is like the 25th, I want to say. Oh, my God, I think it is next week. Special advanced screening.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Lock it in. Lock it in, Eddie.
I can't take my kid to see Space Jam because he's at school this week. School holidays are over.
Take him out of school.
Yeah.
Take him out of school for a new legacy.
Hey,
James.
you like LeBron James and Daffy Duck, I'll say to him.
That's
and
right.
he'll say, what?
Yeah. And you'd be like, that T-shirt I make you wear with LeBron James and Daffy Duck on it.
It's playing today. I could see it today.
You could see it today.
I won't.
Just treat yourself, James. Just get a movie ticket and an arcade cabinet. Just, go
Maybe I
nuts
will.
today.
Maybe I will, Mason.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I recently saw Jackie, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, I rewatched Jackie Brown. Definitely still holds up.
Oh, yeah, I should watch
Again,
Jackie
like
Brown.
it's that some of that stuff is it's timeless, James.
Yeah. Is it set in a particular era or is it set in 97 or
It's set
whenever
in
that movie came out?
the current era.
Of 2021?
No.
Incredible, Mason. Anything else?
Gosh.
Gosh, indeed.
Not off the top of my head, James.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up then so we can talk about Space Jam next week.
Yeah,
It's also
nice.
coming to streaming, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I
All
don't
right.
have to go and see it because I don't want to. I don't want to go and physically see it and
Yeah,
sit by
right.
myself.
Okay. I feel, see, here's the thing though. Unless it's good, I would rather go out. And I know it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's a small amount of money, but
Yeah.
I would rather pay like $20 and see it at the cinema and hate it than pay $35 to see it in my own home and hate it.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it
I don't.
did you get a popcorn?
Yeah, I got popcorn at my house, so I suppose I could just do that.
I guess you could have popcorn.
I just
yeah.
got some popcorn in readiness.
Do you do regular popcorn at your house?
How do you mean?
Like, or do you do like a fancier popcorn?
I'll do like a buttered popcorn.
a buttered popcorn.
Yeah.
Do you do it just when you're watching movies, or you might have a popcorn as you're, say, smoking a cigarette?
I'd never thought of doing that, but I guess I could start smoking.
I
And,
don't think
and
eating and smoking would be good.
I could sit on a stoop smoking and eating popcorn. Just the two driest things it's possible to do.
You get that.
I'll get that. God, that'd be. Imagine Ben Affleck. He's just sitting on a stoop. He's just been to a custody hearing of some sort, and he's just sitting on a stoop, just smoking a cigarette, and he's got a big glass bowl of popcorn, just an enormous bowl of popcorn. He's munching on it. Oh, wow!
Very good stuff.
Beautiful times. Yeah.
All right, that's the show.
That is the show. Folks, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for subscribing and liking the show and telling a friend and lying to a friend to get them to listen to the podcast.
You do it. You know
Thank
it.
you for leaving a 5-star review because it helps it go up in the ranks somehow. More people see it, I think.
I think, yeah. This is from Quicks BMFB. Two Goats, the best podcast. Best podcast out there. Shout out to James and Nick, the only pod I watch at full length. They seem to be the same person, but because of their great back and forth witty banter, 10 out of 10. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
And this one's from Evan R1717 who says stronger. So there you go. Well, any review helps.
So say it again. We've got
Strong.
time. Yeah.
And then underneath it says stronger. So the
love it.
title is strong.
Oh.
And then the...
Feels bold.
I agree.
It's like an artistic statement of some sort.
I agree.
Folks, if you want to get in contact with us,
If you want to make an artistic statement,
you can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Twitter, at Facebook, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collins. He's at Raw Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter.
he's making our Loki videos.
That's right. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter. On an Instagram, I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseEAU. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Ha ha ha.
You can also go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can have all sorts of fun chats in there. You can also go to the Weekly Planet subreddit. You can also go to the Weekly Planet Discord, whatever a Discord is. We don't know. We're never going to check.
We don't care. I cannot stress that enough. No, we do. Thank you.
We care deeply. One day I'll look. One day I'll figure out do I need an app? Do
Yep.
I go to a website? I don't know.
Do I have to use a pseudonym? Can I use my real name?
Oh,
do I have to
has
put
Nick
my
Mason
address
been
in?
taken already?
Yeah, I took it.
Wow, mean. But fair enough. It's a great name.
I agree.
Folks, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You can chuck in $1. You can also go to bigsandwich.co for $9 dues per month.
Pa.
You get all sorts of bonus content. You know about it. We're having a great time over
This
there.
week we are doing, I
is
think
that?
it's a, what is it? I think it's a, whatever it is.
Clickbait.
Clickbait, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
I'll double check
Okay,
that
we're
right
gonna
now.
do our
but-
famous podcast. We got this covered where
Yep.
we discuss the best and worst of clickbait. That week, spoiler alert, it's always the worst clickbait.
It's never been a good one.
You know what?
Sometimes it's,
sometimes we read the clickbait article and we go, this actually spurred some interesting discussion.
That is true.
But sometimes we're like, this
We
is
are
silly.
interesting, is what you're saying.
We're very interesting people. That's
agree.
right. Thank you to The Brute and The Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes. T-shirts on tpublic.com. Just search The Weekly Planet, grab one at random.
Yep.
Maybe it's ours, maybe it's not. We don't know.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Just get one you enjoy.
Just make sure it's not one of those people who just don't really listen, but just copy a bunch of designs or whatever. Just make sure they don't get it.
Yeah.
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 They're going to start making a T-shirt that just says they don't get it.
Well, then that's fine. Anything else?
That's the whole show. I'm looking forward to you buying or not buying that expensive arcade cabinet.
I probably won't buy it. I'm all talk, mate.
Yeah.
I'm all talk.
What's going to happen though is you're gonna not buy it. Here's the thing. Okay, what about this? If you refreshed the page and it was like sold, would you be annoyed or would you not care?
I think it would be like, this is now out of my hands.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's like a refurbished one I've been keeping an eye on. I don't just want to get some junk one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This has been sitting in an abandoned time zone, whatever, with just a wet pizza sitting on top of it.
Yeah, right. Because I have on my phone and like one of my browser tabs open is there's a watch on there and I'm like, I'm fairly indifferent to this watch. Then I refresh the tab and it's like they're all sold out. I'm like, God, I need one more than anything now. I'm just searching.
Was it a good watch?
Looks like a pretty good watch.
Indifferent though, you said initially.
I was, but now desperately in need.
Good point.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Grab that jam, you guys. We will see you next week.
Thank you to Collings for the edit.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.